Good day, guys, and welcome to ASTRO'S CAD tutorials. Today, we'll be diving into the basics of Solidworks sketches. That's the foundation of every 3D model. And by the end of this video, you should be able to create your first fully defined sketch from scratch. If after the end of this video, you gain valuable knowledge and you are actually able to fully define a sketch to a particular dimension, a like and a subscribe from you would be marvelous. It helps us put out more videos for you guys, and it helps push out the videos to more people who would need them, just like you. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right into it. To start with the sketch, you have to open up parts in your SolidWorks. So when you open it up, you see this window. Before you open up, before you start sketching, you have to pick a plane. You can't just draw on empty space. You have to pick a plane. Either it's the front plane, top plane, or the right plane. So let's use the front plane for now. Then you can click this option here, the sketch here. Or you could come to sketch, click on sketch, and select the plane you choose to sketch on. So we'll use the front plane for now. So let me quickly give a little insights on what sketches are. So sketches are the building blocks of all your designs in SolidWorks. Every 3D part you create starts from a 2D sketch. You can never model something without giving it, like without drawing it out first. It's just not possible. So if your sketch is clean and well constrained means being fully defined, like it's fixed, it's your drawing cannot be altered in any other way. So if your sketch is clean and well constrained, your design becomes much easier to modify later. Okay, so after you select your front plane, this this little box here, this little box of elements here, these are your sketch tools. You use them to draw, and this is for dimensioning. So let's start with the line. For your line, it's simple. Once you click, it simply draws a line with the direction and angle between the previous point that you want. So you could draw something like this and connect it here. Very simple. That's what lines do. Circles is for creating circles. Each of the elements have their own, have sub elements under it. Like under line, there's the normal line, there's the construction line or the center line, then there's a midpoint line. Midpoint line is simply a line that goes that has equal lengths but it extends in opposite directions. So once I click here, see, it extends in opposite direction and then it starts drawing normal lines. Then for circles, there's the normal circle and then there's a perimeter circle. So what this perimeter circle is, it's basically a circle that touches 3 points. So if you pick this point first, you pick this point second, I will pick this third. Okay, then we pick this third. Sorry, I didn't click the second time. Let me try that again. If you pick this line, click on this line, click on this line, and click on this line. So it touches all points you clicked on. That's what perimeter circle does. Okay. There's the spline. The spline is basically a line that's tangent to the points created. So it's just the continuous tangency line, continuous tangent line that's tangent to the point. It doesn't have sharp edges. That's what splines do. And you can actually give them dimensioning as well. We'll talk about that later. Then this is a rectangle element. It's used for creating squares or rectangles. Very self-explanatory. There's different forms of it. You could like play along with them, play around with them, and discover them yourself. Let's keep the video short so don't make it long. Then there's the arc. There's center point arc. This is for creating arcs. So when you click on this point, click on the other point, then you extend it to your required um or desired length. So that's what this does. It's the same for every other option here. There's the slots. Slots is for creating slots like the name implies. So once you make the first line, you click and then bring it out to the desired size you want it to be. That's what that does. Then this is a polygon creator. You click and drag. You can edit the number of sides it has. So let's say we want it to have 4 sides, we want it to have three, or we want it to have 8 sides. This is it. You can edit it to any number of sides you'd like. Okay, now let's talk about dimensioning. Let's talk about this smart dimension. So let me use a rectangle. And I'm going to use this rectangle, center rectangle. I'll start from the origin and extend it out. Now this dimensioning is for giving your your sketch lengths, angles, and distances between 2 points. So let's say we want to pick this side here. Let's make it 100. It becomes 100. Then let's make this top part 200. See? Now our sketch is fully defined, meaning it can't be like it's fixed. It's already fixed. You can't shift it. You can only edit, change these two numbers, these two values. You can't do anything with this sketch again. Now it's fully defined. It's well constrained. You see here, they wrote it here, fully defined. Okay. Let me draw another um rectangle and maybe a circle. Let me draw the circle here. Okay, now so smart dimension. Notice this sketch is not fully defined. It's moving around. I could move it around and I can change the size as well if I want. Same with this. It's not fully defined. I can move it anywhere. I can move it anywhere I want on the screen. So now let's use smart dimension to fix them. So let's pick this dots, center point of the dots, and the center point of this rectangle, and we'll make it 200 millimeter apart. Okay, you can drag this inside here to make space for this. Then we could make from this point to the center point again as the distance between it. So let's make it 50. So the center point from here to this center point of the rectangle is 50, and then from here, that's the height, and then the distance away from it is 200. But still, it's not fixed. Although I can't move it anywhere again, it doesn't let me move it. Unlike this, I could move this around, but this I can't move. But it's still not fully defined because the outline is blue. The outline of this fully defined sketch is black. So what's left is the size. The size I could edit it. I could edit it. So that's what's left to define, and then it becomes a fully defined sketch. So let's make the diameter 60. See? Now it's a fully defined sketch. Now I'd love you to pause the video and try to fully define this rectangle by yourself. You can use any dimension you like, but just make sure the outline is black and not blue. Okay, so give yourself a chance and pause the video and try before I do it. Okay, so let's fully define this now. Let's make this 80. In fact, let's make it a square, and then this point make it 80 as well. It becomes a square. It's not yet fully defined. You need to give it a fixed position. So you use smart dimension. Hold on. My smart okay, yeah. So use smart dimension. We'll pick distance from this line and this line. That's the height difference. We'll make it 20. And then the distance from here to here, make it 40. 40. So you see, it's fully defined now. It can't move anywhere. It cannot move anywhere. Okay. Don't forget the smart dimension. You could use it. Hold on. You can use Control Z to undo things. So let me take this back to its undefined properties. Smart dimension, you can use it on any point. You can use it for this vertex here, this point here, to this point maybe. Could make it 100. You could also use the midpoint as this line here. This line to the center of this line. So that's the height difference. Make it 30. Okay, so now these sketches are fully defined. So that's what this full, smart dimensioning is all about. Okay, now so I'm going to teach you about relations. I'm going to teach you about relations. So let me draw a line here. Let me make it slanted. Let me make something like this, and then I'll do another one here. Maybe a straight line. I'll draw another one. I'll draw another one here. Let me do this. Okay. Okay. Then let me do two circles. Okay. So relations, yeah, it's also used to fully define a sketch. So let me. It doesn't really fully define the sketch without the use of smart dimension. It just assists in fully defining the sketch. So let's say you draw something like this and you don't like this line, you want it to be perfectly straight, you want it to be vertical. So you click on the line, you see this option that comes out here, this option here. You can smart dimension it, you could do a series of things, you can convert it to a construction line with this. So now see, it's a broken line. That's not what a relation is. So relations are usually the first set of options on the top row. So this first one is to make it horizontal. So if you want it to be perfectly flat, horizontal, you use this. But we want to make it vertical, so we use this one, and it becomes a perfectly straight line. Very simple. And then this, we want it to be a horizontal line, so we pick this. So now it's a right angled line. If we use smart dimension, we will see that this line, pick this other line. I see it's 90 degrees. It's 90 degrees. So that's what this does. Relations. That's just one part, one side of relations. Let me show you another part. If I click this line, okay, hold on. Before I do that, let me give it a small dimension. Let me make it 200. Okay, so if I click this line and make it vertical, it's already vertical. It's already vertical, so there's no need. This one is also vertical as well. This one is not vertical, it's at an angle, right? Okay, so if I click on this line, I hold my control key, click on this line, I could make it equal. So making it equal would make this line go the same length as this. So make equal. See? You made it equal. If I click this line and click on this one that's at an angle, if I should make it parallel, it becomes parallel to the other line. Again, this shorter one becomes parallel to this, so it becomes a straight line, or this becomes goes towards this angle. Okay, so let me parallel. See, so if I hold on, let me delete the relation of this vertical. I want to be able to bend it, so I'm going to delete this relation so I could show you something. So if I'm to turn this over, hold on. Okay, you know what? Let me do something else. If I let me click on this dot, endpoint of this line, hold the control key, click on this point, and make it horizontal so they'll stay on the same plane. Stay on the same plane. Okay, let me see if this works now. Aha, yeah. So you see, no matter what I do, these two will always be parallel to each other. They will always be parallel, no matter the angle between them. So that's what that does. So let's move over to the circles. Let me make this. Let me make this 100 and make this one 50. 50. Okay. So now, if I click on this circle, hold the control key, click on the second one, you see different options. So this make concentric means putting the circle inside the circle. So let's click on it and see how it looks. See? So it puts this smaller circle inside the other one. That's what it does. Let me let me quickly draw another circle. Let me just draw a series of circles. Okay. Then I'll give them dimensions. Random dimensions. Let's give that 80. Let's give this 20. Let's give this 100. And let's give this 70. Okay. So now, if I click on this circle and click on this one, this means making it the same size. So making it the same size will not work because I've already given them dimensions. So let's see. See? It won't work. It shows you errors. So let me delete this dimension here. Click on it. Press delete on your keyboard. It's at the top right corner. So let's try that again. If I click on this and click on this, make cordial. That circle goes inside this circle. You can't see it because it's exactly the same size. So that's what that cordial means. So let me click on this and click on this other circle. Now if I make it tangent, they will both touch each other. They're just going to touch each other. They're not exactly inside or outside. They're just touching each other. You can also do this with a line. So if I pick this circle and pick this line and I make it tangent, so it touches the line even with the other circle on top of it. So you see, they're all touching each other no matter the position. So I want you to do something. Make this circle be tangent with this line here. Make it tangent with this line. pause the video and try it by yourself. Okay, so you click on the circle, hold your control key, click on this line and select make tangent. So the line comes to the circle. If you don't want it to come to the circle, you have to fully define the line first. So let's make this fixed at a point. So use smart dimension. Let's make it fixed around this point it is now. So click on this endpoints, click on this um origin point and make it 60. Enter. And then this endpoint to this other endpoint, make it vertical. Make it 120. Okay. So I don't think it should move anymore. Just left and right. Okay, so we need to do one more thing. This endpoint, this origin point, and any point here, with this, give it its lengthwise distance. So use 160. Okay, so you notice now the line is black, so it's fully defined. So let's try to make this tangent again. This and this line here, make tangent. So you see, it's going to touch the line. And that's all you need to know about relations for now. In other videos, future videos, you'll be able to learn more about it. So let's take on a little sketch diagram to design or to sketch. Like let's model something. Okay. Okay, so let me teach you how to use a feature called frame entities. Frame entities is simply used to cut um its main feature or main use is for cutting out lines that are not needed. And the way it cuts lines is any line you cut across is going to cut it. Let's say I cut across this line now. It's going to cut it from this end point to the next point, to the next intersect actually. It cuts all the way to the next intersect. Make sure you're on power trim. Make sure you're on power trim. Leave these ones later we may discuss about them. So let's try out this line. So if I cut it, you see it stops at the intersect and stops at the next um sharp edge. So if I do the same for this line here now, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to stop at this junction here, this intersect, and it's going to stop at here too. So we're going to remove these two lines. So you can just left click and drag your mouse and touch the lines you don't need. So you see, we'll also remove these top ones here and this inside one, and remove this tiny one here. Okay, we could also remove these lines here, they're not needed. This, okay. So now let's leave this outside shape. I want to keep every outside, the outermost edge of this sketch. I want to keep them. So we can just trace it. Anything that's not out the outermost part, so remove it. So remove this, okay, remove this, okay. Could remove this, remove this. So this is the sketch we have come up with. So that's what power trim does. It removes unwanted elements that you do not desire in your sketch. Very simple. What offset entities does is it creates another sketch or another geometry of what you've created with a little distance away from the original sketch. So let's say we use 10. So if you you can either use your mouse to actually control it outside or inside, any way you want it to be. But it's going to follow the sketch that you've created. Okay. So this base geometry or reverse is for the inside. If you want it inside, it goes inside. That's if your mouse isn't selecting it. If your mouse isn't selecting it, it goes inside. If you want it outside, you keep it outside. Anyone you want. You can notice if you notice here it's changing. If I bring it in, reverse comes on. If I bring it out, reverse goes away. So bidirectional means both ways. So you see, if I click enter, it's going to create these sketches outside. Keep in mind this is the original sketch. This is the outer converted entity, and this is the inner converted entity. Okay, so you can also change the dimension in here. If maybe I want the inside one to be 20, I can change only it to 20. Then the outer one I want it to be 5, I can change it to 5. So that's what this does. Mirror entities is very very easy to understand. So let's say we want to mirror this whole sketch. I have to select everything. Select this whole sketch and then come down. Want to mirror it. So let's see if we need to pick a plane that cuts across here, like a vertical plane that goes like this. So if I pick something like that, the sketch comes to the other side. So I think it's the right thing. So you see, the sketch gets mirrored to the other side of the plane. If I click OK, see, so we have the exact identical sketch on the other side. And if I change anything here, it changes here as well. So let's say I make this 30. See, it changes the order as well. Okay, so that's what that does. And we'll talk about linear and circular pattern in further classes. Okay, so let's take one or two practices before we end the video. Then in the next class, in the next video I'll do one more sketch tutorial, and you guys can follow along so you can understand sketches better. So this is very simple. With what I explained in the past few minutes, we should be able to do this. So let's go ahead and draw this. So let me first explain the sketch. So there are two circles on this side. There's one here, the outer edge. There's the inner circle. It's more like the hole in the sketch. Then on the other side, there's two circles as well, the outer part and the inner part. And then there are two lines on opposite sides that's tangent to the outer circles. See? So it's very simple. So on the left side, the bigger circle is 30 30 radius and the smaller circle is 20 radius. The other side, the outer circle is 20 radius and the smaller circle is 10. So we will do that now. Okay? So let's first draw a circle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's look at something. The distance between the center of each circle is 90. So I'm sure you know how to do this. So if you don't mind, you can pause the video and do it yourself. Give the distance between this set of circles and this set of circles. Make them have a value of 90 millimeter. So how you do it, you go to smart dimension, click on the center of the first set of circles, click on the center of the second, and make it 90. So if it goes this way, it's because the circles are way big. They're not the actual dimension of the sketch given. So this for this first one, let's give it 30. So notice in the sketch they wrote R30, not dia 30. So that's if you want to get the diameter, you have to multiply 30 by 2, and that's 60. For the other one, the smaller circle, the same principle, it should be 40. And then the same principle here, 40 and 20 here. Oh, sorry, clicked on the wrong 20 here. Okay, very simple. Then we just create a line that's tangent to these two circles. So what you do instead of um how do I instead of going all the way here to select line, you could just press letter L on your keyboard, then the line feature comes up. So you just create extend the line, extend two lines. It doesn't matter the length. So we'll click on the first line and click on this outer part of this circle. Click make tangent and then click the line again. Click on this circle, make tangent. Click on this line, click on this circle, make tangent. Click on this line, click on this circle. Okay, click on this line, click on this circle, press make tangent. Make sure you're holding your control key when you're clicking on all of them. So now notice there's one thing wrong with this. But before we do that, or let's do it now. The circle is not in line, it's not in the center. Like if I should draw a center line here, a construction line, if I draw it straight like this, make sure it cuts across the origin. If I draw a center line like this circle is not on the center line. It's not in line with this. So how will we do it? Remember how to make relations. So you click on this center point here, hold your control key, click on the center point of the smaller circles, and make it horizontal. So it seems there's a little problem here. So delete. Okay, I know what the problem is. So this line is vertical. We've given it a relation, and it's not supposed to be vertical. So it's not supposed to be horizontal. It's supposed to be a free line. You get. So I'm going to delete this, click on it, click on delete, and I'm going to try that again. So center point of this smaller set of circles and the center point of the big one, and make it horizontal. So you see, now it's on the same line. Don't forget I deleted the distance between them, and it should be 90. Okay. So now we're basically done. We just need to trim out the unwanted part of this sketch. So go to trim entities, cut out this line, cut out this line, cut out this line, and zoom in on this part and cut out this part. Okay. Then this inner circle, we need to cut out this part and this part. Okay. So now we're done with the sketch. Let me bring out these dimensions a little bit closer. Okay. So this is what they asked us to do. So you could just exit here. And your sketch is complete. We're done. So let's do one more sketch. So this is a very simple sketch. It consists of one oval and one, two, three, four circles. So let's see how that is going to go. So click on file, new part. I'm going to use the front plane, sketch, oval. So just draw a random size oval. Then let's go back and analyze this. So the height of the oval is 80. You can see 80. And then the width is 120. Then we focus on these two small circles here. The distance between the two circles is 100 and they are both 10 in diameter, 80 and 120. So let's go to Solidworks. So here, 80, and here, okay, and here is 120, 120. Then I'm going to draw two circles here. Make sure it's horizontal. This line that came out, make sure it's there. Then we'll do the same here. Okay. So I'm going to do one thing. I'll select this point, select this origin point, select this other point. Okay, the option didn't come out, but let's make it horizontal. It should be horizontal. In case yours is not horizontal, it should be horizontal. Okay, so now we'll go to the drawing. So the distance between them is 100. It's 100. And then there are two circles in the center. One is the small one is 30 and the bigger one is 60. So let's see what we can do here. This to this is 100, and then two circles from the center. One, two, small dimension, 60 and sorry, hold on, 60 and 30. So this should be 30. Okay, so now we'll do one thing. This and this is not symmetrical. There's a little bit of space here. There's more space here than there is on the other side. So what we're going to do, use a center line to join these two together. Okay. Then the center of this line has this yellow square. Click on it and click on the origin. Then we would make it coincident. So they are going to be on the same spot. So that's what this does. So let me zoom out a little so you can see. Coincident. Okay. So our sketch is not exactly fully defined. So we've not given this its value of 10 yet. Then instead of giving this a smart dimension as well, you could just click on this circle, hold your control key, click on the other circle and make it um equal. So we need to do one more thing to make this oval fully defined. So you click on this point here and click on the center point and make it horizontal. After making it horizontal, it will be fixed and it will turn black. So see, we're done. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video and you understood everything we did in the today's tutorial, this episode, please do well to like and subscribe so you don't miss other videos and the video goes to other people who may need it. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.